Hey guys, welcome to video number 2 in the kitchen table stamper in bloom Stamp-A-Stack. This is congrats, you're so fancy now, and it is video 2 in a series. If you missed out video number 1, we made these two You're Amazing. Wait, actually they look kind of like this because I mixed and matched my floral pieces. We made these two You're Amazing cards. Check out video number 1 below. We did a lot of kind of prep work and steps in our first video. This really is a Stamp-A-Stack class. So what we did in video number 1 was we cut our flower elements using a combination of 5 different colors. And now we're going to go ahead and using those elements, we're going to kind of mix and match and build some flowers. These are cut from Rococo Rose, Petal Pink, Soft Seafoam, Night of Navy, and Seaside Spray. We did this using the In Bloom, the Pierced Blooms die set that coordinates with the In Bloom bundle that we're using for our awesome congrats you're so fancy now sentiment. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick out a large and then 2 medium flowers and the layers from the pieces that I've already cut out. I'm going to go ahead and build each of these little layers. I love doing this. I'm going to do them pretty much exactly like my sample, just for ease of doing in the video, but mix and match and make something new and exciting if you like. This time I'm just going to mix up the colors of my leaves, I think. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with what I've got and I know that it works out. I don't have to try to wing it on the video. All right, let me pull my pieces. Here are my flowers. Now I'm going to glue them together using some multi-purpose liquid glue. Of course, you could use the adhesive sheets for this, and then each of these little layers would be peel and stick, and it's an awesome shortcut for using these pierced blooms. All right, so there we go. I'm going to go ahead and glue all these guys just like this, one layer to the next, and I'm going to add a little bit of mini dimensionals to the back of each flower too. All right, everybody's got dimensionals on the back and they're all glued up in layers. Next thing I'm going to do is take my leaves. We cut these ahead. So we did this little sprout for this one. I love this little stitched leaf. Isn't that adorable? This time though, instead of doing the old olive sprouts, I'm going to use the soft seafoam sprouts. Getting really crazy here. So I need 3 sprouts for each card. And I'm going to add some mini dimensionals to the back of the leaves for these. What I like to do for this guy is just take a mini dimensional and cut it in half. Just make a strip down the edge and I'll put half on each of these little leaves. And I'll be right back. All right, everything's got dimensionals. Now, let's go into our kit here. I'm going to slide all these guys aside for just a minute. And if you're joining us in the second video here and you haven't seen the first, there is an In Bloom Stamp-A-Stack kit that's available at kitchentablestamper.com/shop while supplies last. And you get all the card bases that you need for this. The die cutting is done for you, like your tags, not your blooms, not your stamping. We can't do that for you. And since we're featuring the In Bloom bundle, you'll do your own die cutting. But one of the things that you missed in video number 1 is, since we're stamping a stack, we went ahead and we used the In Bloom stamp set and some soft seafoam ink, and just using the little pieces here, we stamped randomly on our background. And we also cut up our designer series paper. This is from the Paper Blooms designer series paper. It was available as a gift for a limited time during celebration. You get a quarter of a package in your kit, or you can follow along on the video if you've got your own materials. This is limited to supplies that we have on hand, so check kitchentablestamper.com/shop. In the class packets section. You can sort on the right hand side of the store by online class or class packet or printables or tutorials. Got lots of great inspiration and things there for sale in the store. All right, so we got our designer series paper. This one's cut loosely based on Wonder Recipe number 8. They're 2x3 pieces, and we're gonna glue them down on our stamps card base. You get the seafoam card base in your kit, and since we're doing a Stamp a Stack class, it's a smart idea to go ahead and stamp all your card bases at one time, and we covered that in video number 1. Now we're going to stamp our greeting using my favorite sentiment in this set. Congrats, you're so fancy now. Got my Stampin' Pierce mat and Night of the Navy ink. This tag was cut from basic white using the new tailor-made tags die. It's the second largest one of this bracket edge, and I do not have my die charts ready yet, but I will soon, because I know that helps you guys so much if you're cutting your own kits or if you're following along to see which one I use. So I'll have those die charts soon. In the meantime, though, this is the second largest of the bracketed tag. Love that sentiment. It's just, I don't know, just something I would say. All right, slide the ink pad and the Stampin' Pierce mat out. I'm going to take my tear and tape and I'm going to run 2 strips, maybe even 3. We're going to get really generous here, right across the back, underneath the loop of the tag, and then we're going to peel off the release paper, making it sticky. We're not going to thread this tag and tie a bow. We're going to do something a little different this time. We're going to kind of swoop behind the tag so that the flowers and the ribbon can play nicely at the end of there. All right, in your kit, you've got 1/3 of a spool of denim ribbon, and we're going to work right from the spool so that there's no waste. We're going to come in here and we're going to start with a nice long tail. We're going to loop into that tear and tape and come back around and loop and then into that tear and tape. So it looks kind of like a bow. You got your ears and your tails, but it's all adhered right to the back of the tag. You need to finesse a little bit. Now's the time to do it. Get it flat on the back there, but it's going to look nearly like a bow. Then we'll trim and we'll clean up this edge, make a nice clean, and that's all we throw away when we work from the spool. So there's our beautiful tag with a bow. All right, now let's do the other one and I'll be right back. All right, second one is looped with that gorgeous ribbon. I love to stamp a stack. I make more cards and I send more cards. Well, all the materials are out and the mess is already made and the designs are already flowing with the products that I'm using. I like to just keep going. I hope you enjoy these Stamp-A Stacks too. Let's go ahead and adhere our tag to our card and our second copy. Same thing, and I just do multi-purpose liquid glue, and don't be afraid to put a little on the ribbon. It's all right. It'll hold it. Congrats, you're so fancy now. Oh, I just love it. All right, now I'm going to grab our flowers back into the picture here, and we're going to go with our biggest flower first. We'll add that right up here. We don't want to cover the greeting. And then a little medium flower. I did shake it up just a little bit. I made this one with a little soft seafoam center. Whatever the mood has for you, you know, mix and match. And then, oh, don't cover your greeting. Did you see that? Almost covered some of yours so fancy. Can't have that. And then our sprigs. 3 sprigs on each card, 3 flowers on each card. I'm going to tuck this little guy right underneath. Don't cover your greeting. And now let's catch this one up. I'll be right back. I'm just going to adhere the flowers like we did for our first copy. All right, last one, little sprig in there. We're not done yet. You can't be congrats, you're so fancy without some of these awesome opals. You get 40 pieces in the kit. And we're gonna just bling this up just a little bit, make it really fancy. We've got one more embellishment, just another little touch. I love these little flowers from the Pierced Blooms dies. Let's get our little containers here. We cut ahead of time some of these little white flowers using the die. It cuts 3 at a time, so 2 passes. You'll make enough for both cards, and it really just livens everything up a little bit. Now these embellishments that we're using here, these little flowers as embellishments, are fair game for any kind of project. Think how cute these would be with like the strawberry builder. They're just that little something. When your card needs a little something, these are a great embellishment to have. So we're going to take a white flower, our Rococo Rose scrap. You got some of that in your kit, and cut some flowers from it, and a 1/8 inch handheld circle punch. And we're going to go ahead and cut 6 little flower centers. And while you're at it, it's a Stamp-A-Stack after all, and those techniques work all the time. Go ahead and make a few extra little white ones with yellow centers or in colors that you think you're going to use a lot, and have them on hand in those little embellishment containers that are left over from your Stampin' Up! Embellishments. All right, so here's how I like to do this one. I like to take a dab of glue. Of course, you could use the multi-purpose liquid glue or the adhesive sheets. But I put just a little bit on the back of my flower. And then I'll put my flower where I want it. If you ever have too much glue, just touch and share. And so we'll put our flowers where we want it, kind of 1, 2, got enough glue on that one for all 3 of them. And then a third one kind of off over here, I think. Maybe down here. And then I'll do the same thing with this one. Hang on, let me catch up this guy. And once I've got all 6 of them in, I'll take your pick tool. Got the putty end, and then nothing, and then the piercing end. And I will, on each one of these little white flowers, do the smallest little dot of glue on each of the flower centers. You can do all 6 at one time. It's not a big deal. Just be careful not to put your card into the wet glue. The multi-purpose liquid glue gives you a little bit of time. And we'll pick up these little flower centers on the end of our Take Your Pick tool. And with the piercing end, we'll just touch them right into the glue. Little 2-hand process, and it'll keep the glue from getting everywhere on your fingers, everything else. It's a great little technique for sequins too. This tool is really so much fun. And then if you have any glue that oozes out once it's dry, you can take it away with a little glue eraser, but it'll keep your project nice and tidy. And those little details are just so sweet. What do you think? There it is. Congrats. You're so fancy now. That's video number 2 in our 3 video series. If you missed video number 1, it's linked below. Go back and check it out. And we made these beautiful You're Amazing cards. There's another video in this series. Video number 3 is coming tomorrow. You Mean So Much to Me, and we'll make these 3 You Mean So Much to Me cards. Got any questions about the project? Email marissa@kitchentablestamper.com. To check for the optional class packet, buzz over to kitchentablestamper.com/shop. And to shop Stampin' Up 24/7, you can head over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in video number 3.